Welcome to Milsurp Minutes. I'm Nick. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting rifle that's here at Bull Moose Guns in Mint Hill, North Carolina. I've been invited back to the shop to take a look at some guns, this time all of which are going to be going out for sale, including this very interesting, very well-traveled Mosin Nagant. So, this is a Finnish M24 Civil Guard rifle. To explain it, I'm going to go back a little bit to the foundation of the country of Finland. Just after the end of the First World War, the Finns got their independence after the Russian Empire fell apart. And after they got their independence, they decided they were going to standardize on the Mosin Nagant as their main service rifle. They already had large stocks of Mosins from having been part of the Russian Empire prior to this revolution. So there were plenty of rifles there, but they went to other avenues. They bought rifles from Poland, they bought rifles from Czechoslovakia, they bought rifles from Austria and Hungary, who had made up the Austro-Hungarian Empire, who had gone to war with the Russians. They also bought rifles from Germany, which that will come later into play here. But first we're going to now we're going to talk about the Civil Guard and the division of the military. So the Civil Guard was somewhat like could be comparable to the U.S. Army National Guard here in the United States. They were a force of citizen soldiers. And one thing that was very important to them was they prioritized marksmanship amongst them. And come the early 1920s, they wanted to upgrade some of their rifles. So they had a fundraiser to raise money to basically just rebarrel as many rifles as they could with these bigger, thicker, heavier barrels, which this is what makes it an M24 rifle. In the end, I think around 20 to 30,000, not a very large number of them. They were able to buy 20 to 30,000 new barrels from Böhler in Germany, and they also bought barrels from SIG in Switzerland. This one is barreled with a Böhler barrel, and they were significantly heavier than the original M91 barrel. I'll show you when we get closer up. And we're a little bit more conducive to better marksmanship. Now I'm going to bring the camera over and I'm going to show you some of the details and some of the interesting things about this rifle that make it special. So taking a look at the receiver and the barrel, which is really what makes this rifle quite interesting. As I mentioned earlier, they bought a lot of rifles from Germany. The Art Dep Sister, Custer, whatever it says. These are German capture marks, meaning that this receiver at least was captured by the Germans from the Russians. And as you can see, it's an old M91 receiver. I have been told that the date on the tang of the receiver is 1899. And however, albeit the date on the receiver may be 1899, that doesn't mean that this rifle is necessarily, or any of the other parts are from the time, as the Finns tended to mix parts up. On top of the barrel here, we have a Civil Guard mark right there. You have the old Imperial Russian eagle there. And I believe that there is the manufacturer mark for Böhler. On the rear sight here, I'll show you up close, you have, this is something I haven't seen on many Finnish Mosins, you have the Arshins still marked on here and have not been crossed out. Whereas if you look at it on the other side, the Finns would later remark the rear sight in meters, a unit of measurement that they actually used. Now, as I mentioned, the barrel's quite thick. They did, I believe, need new stocks, or at least had to have the stocks cut a little bit so that they could actually fit the new heavier barrel. And I'll show you up here one of the changes they made to them. This has what's referred to as a stepped barrel, where it is turned down at the very end. This was to allow the fitment of an M91 Mosin Nagant long rifle style bayonet while still maintaining the thicker barrel that is conducive to having greater accuracy and better barrel harmonics. Something else to know that doesn't necessarily apply to this one, but is just out there and you can know about, is that, as I mentioned, the other manufacturer of barrels that Finland bought from was SIG. The first 3,000 of the barrels they bought from SIG were not stepped down at all and are considerably rare. This, as I said, is not that at all, but that's just something to look for. In all, there were 26 to 27,000 barrels that were delivered and rifles rebarreled in total as M24s. But this is one of the scarcer variants of Mosin Nagant in the US, and is something to keep an eye out for, is to look for that stepped barrel and that Civil Guard mark on the barrel, and identifies it as a rarer variant. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out Bull Moose guns either in person here in Minton Hill, North Carolina, or look them up online. Thanks for watching.